Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about buying your first investment property, your first house, your first rental, etc. So when you go to buy a house, they're going to want a few things from you. First thing they're going to want, this is all relative to the state of Florida where I live, is they're going to want 2 years job employment. And this is considered by most banks. There are ways around it, but a good rule of thumb is to have 2 years of job experience at the same job or at a like industry. The second is your credit score. They want a credit score, I think your FICO score a minimum of 580. 580 is their minimum to qualify for a down payment or a loan on the house. And the third thing they're going to want is a down payment. So depending on where you are and the value of the house, they want 20%, 10%. I always say pay less. If you think about 20% interest, that extra 10% over 30 years on a $200,000 house changes your payment very minimal if you do the math. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. $10,000 divided by 30 years divided by 12 months. So if you had put an extra $10,000 down on a house over the course of 30 years, it's only going to change your payment by $28 a month. Obviously it's more than that after interest, but essentially you're better off holding that money to use it and keep it. Third thing is I was able to apply for first-time home buyers by the county that I live in. So the county can afford to give me $10,000 cash. It's different in your county, so you could check out in your county. Now how can they do that? They do that by knowing that I have to stay the primary resident in that house for 10 years. It's different in every county, but 10 years, knowing that I will be in the house, I will circulate money throughout the county, paying taxes, providing money to businesses that they'll pay taxes on, and they will receive it back. And lastly, my goal for the house is to sell the house and pay back that first time home buyer. So I live there for 10 years. If I don't, say I live there for 2 years, I have to pay back 80% of that money, prorated or with interest or however it works out. But I did some upgrades in my house, so I put some pavers in, a new roof, AC unit, brand new countertops, new fixtures throughout, new flooring, stuff like that. It's going to increase the value of the house. When I go to sell the house, I estimate I'm going to make around $40,000 to $60,000 profit on the house. So what I'll do is I'll take that out of that $40,000 or $60,000. Say I sell it for $60,000, I pay back the $10,000 cash to the first-time home buyers. Now I got $50,000 in my pocket cash when I only started with $2,000. I put down $2,200 in on the house, had it for 2 years, did some upgrades, sold it. Now I got $50,000 cash in my pocket. Now, generally I would have to pay taxes on that, but what a 1031 exchange does is it allows me to take that money and roll it into a likewise investment and not have to pay capital gains on that tax. Likewise, house is another property. If I were to rent my house out now, which I paid $135,000 for, my mortgage is $950 a month, and I would rent it out for $1,150. So I'm only making $200 a month. I have to risk $950 to only make $200 a month. But if I take that $50,000 in cash and put down on a house, pay for the house out, right, or just put the very minimal down payment, mortgage on that would be around $300 or $400 a month. So I could buy that house for $50,000, mortgage would be $300 or $400 a month, and rent it out for $700 or $800 a month. So the risk to reward, or whatever you want to call it, I'm only risking $300 to make back $600-$700. So the return on the investment is way greater, and the risk that I have to risk is way less than if I were to buy more. This is why all these people try to buy houses for cash, and you see all those signs, we buy houses cash, and they want to pay for a house for $50,000, $60,000. They can get way more for their money every month. One of the tips that kind of helped me with being able to do all those upgrades in my house and be able to sell it for more than I paid for it is I didn't buy a house at the end of my means. By that I mean, if I could afford a house for $200, I didn't buy a house for $199, I bought a house for $135. So by that I was able to save up money every month and fix the house up, do a little bit here, do a little bit there, and then over time, now I'll be able to sell the house and have $50,000. So $50,000 cash in my pocket within 2 years, that's not bad for a side gig or selling your house. And you can do this too. You don't have to be a good handyman or construction like I am. You can hire a contractor to do it or pay the trades as you go along and as you save up money. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.